If you've seen my previous video, you know that I took the old hard drive that I was using for my home server and I put it in my gaming PC to make it an all-in-one system. Since then, I've kind of been trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this old Dell Optiplex. I really enjoy playing old retro video games, especially sitting on the couch. So with the program Batocera, I was able to turn this old Dell Optiplex into a little retro game console. I currently have it set up to play up to PS2 Xbox games, but if you have some more powerful hardware, you can bump it up all the way to PS3, Xbox 360 emulation. For getting this all set up, it's pretty straightforward. All you need is a USB to flash Batocera onto, a PC of your choice, a keyboard and mouse, and optionally a controller if you want to have more of a console-like experience. Getting the USB set up to boot from is pretty easy. I actually did a previous video installing Linux, and it's pretty much the same process. If you want to go watch that for how to create the drive, I'll put a link down in the description for that. Along with that, you'll use the same video to walk you through how to get into the BIOS menu to pick which drive to boot from. For my setup, I use this little NVMe enclosure, so that way it's not booting off of just a regular USB drive. Much faster. If you don't have this, it's not necessary. Any old flash drive will work. Once you get booted off of the USB drive and you're into that first interface of Batocera, it's really easy to navigate. You can scroll left or right for whichever systems you want. Once you click into a system, you can then see the games that are associated with it. Batocera comes pre-installed with some classic games, but later on I'll show you how to add your own games. From here, you're going to want to enter the quick menu. Here's where you can do any tweaking changes needed to make the experience better for you. You can download themes, you can update artwork for games, and what I personally like to do is install it onto the internal drive of the device that it's installed on. One thing to note, in order to do this, you will have to be connected to the internet. So either plug it in via Ethernet or go through the Wi-Fi setup process. Once you do that and you install it on whichever drive you want, go ahead and reboot it and then remove the USB drive from it. Once you reboot the device, you'll be back to that same home screen. From here, you can click the spacebar on your keyboard again and scroll down to gamepad settings. From here, you can pair a Bluetooth controller of your choice. I have a DualSense controller that I'll be using. Whichever controller you're using, you can go ahead and put it into Bluetooth pairing mode and then select automatic search, and Batocera will search and pair to your controller. From here, we're gonna need the keyboard and mouse for a little bit longer. You're gonna press F1. From there, you're gonna be met with a Finder window. From here, you can navigate through all the different folders of the system. The two we're going to pay attention to are the BIOS and the ROMs folder. For the BIOS and the ROMs, you can source those from whichever means you find necessary. I have a backed up copy of all the BIOS and ROMs that I like to use. Once you get those, it's pretty straightforward. You're going to copy all the BIOS files that you've acquired into the BIOS folders. For the ROMs, you're going to go into each individual game system's folder and drop the ROMs there. For example, if you have a bunch of Game Boy Advance games, there's going to be a GBA folder. They're all going to go in there. All your PS2 games are going to go in the PS2 folder, so on and so forth. Once you got all your games where they need to go, all the BIOS files in the BIOS folder, you can go up to the top left corner and click on File and then Close Window. Once you do that, it's going to take you back to the home screen and it's not going to automatically populate. So what you're going to need to do is either, if you're using your keyboard still, press the space bar, or if you're using a controller, hit the Start or Options button. From there, you're going to scroll down to Game Collection Settings and then just click Update Game List. From there, it's going to populate all the games so you can see what games you have for which console. From here, we can go into the scraper settings. If you add any new games, it's not going to add any of the artwork, any description of the game. So what this will do is go into a game database, take all the information that it needs and put it into the system. You're just going to select whichever consoles you want it to scrape. I typically just let it scrape for everything, then let it do its thing, and then we're going to update the game list one more time. And then from here, we should have all the artwork, descriptions for all the games, all the systems that we're going to be using. From here, if you want to keep customizing it, there are also themes you can download. There's this standard theme that comes with it, but there are hundreds of other things you can pick from. From here, it's pretty simple. You just click the game you want to start and enjoy. This has been a really fun way for me to play some old games comfortably on the couch on the big TV. This has been a super fun way for me to get back into some of the old titles that I had played as a child or never got a chance to as a kid. One thing though, I don't find myself sitting down in front of the TV to play as much as I'd like to, and that's mainly because, well, I got a Steam Deck, and this plays everything that I want to play on this, nice and portable on the go. And funnily enough, I've found myself using my gaming PC way less now that I got this. So if you want to hear more about my opinion on my Steam Deck, leave a comment down below. I'll make a video about that. If you want to see how I turn my gaming PC into a 2-in-1 home server as well, I'll leave a link in the description down below to that video as well. Thank you guys for watching.